Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform designed to help you really manage and grow and maximize your real estate photography and video business and really help you enjoy what you're doing, taking some of the pressure off managing your business day to day. And in this video podcast, what we're going to be talking about isn't so much the creative side of what we do in our industry, but talking about the business side, how to maximize the business of your business. I'm Craig Magram. I'm the business development and client care specialist for Spiro and host for the podcast. And then with me is Spiro founder and owner Todd Kivimaki. Todd, welcome to the podcast again.
Thanks, Craig. It's exciting to be here again. And we've got a great topic for today and an awesome guest.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just dive right into it. Back at the beginning of this year in 2022, Spiro did a survey with some of our beta testers about their businesses. And one of the questions that we asked is, what area of your business do you feel you're struggling the most or have the biggest challenge with? And by far, I think the biggest answer that we saw was centered around sales, how to get that first client, how to find a realtor to talk to about your business and what you can offer them in what you're doing with real estate photo and video. And, as creatives, Todd, you and I are creatives, we love the creative side of our business. Sales isn't necessarily something that we dreamed about when we were kids. It was all centered around creating and coming up with something tangible that we just enjoyed making. And with that, we learned very quickly in starting our own businesses, you with Wow Video Tours and me with a background in radio. I did radio sales and food safety sales, and then my own real estate media business, that you have to get out there and promote yourself and introduce yourself to others that could benefit from the services and products that you offer. So with all of those challenges centered around sales and not necessarily having a background in that, the question we want to tackle in this podcast is, how do I network one-on-one with realtors? How do I find those referrals and those connections?
Exactly. And, it's funny because most of us started our business because we love to create, like you mentioned, Craig, but then we get into our business and we understand that people need to know about it so that we can continue to grow our business. That's when the sales side comes in. Now, from my perspective, I don't consider myself a salesperson. However, I am driven by helping people. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I never want to sell, well, ask yourself, do you want to help people? And a lot of times when employees at WOW, especially like our customer service team, says, oh, I would never want to sell or upsell, we just pose in a question that says, do you want to help a client? That's really what sales is. You're educating them on what your products are, how it will help and impact their business. And today I'm excited to introduce you all to Larry Lauder, who is our business development specialist in our Charlotte location. And he is a master at not only networking and helping people, but selling to people too, although we don't make it feel like sales. So Larry, do you want to just give us a quick introduction about yourself and let everyone know?
Sure. Well, so yeah, thanks, Todd. Thank you, Craig. My name is Larry Lauder, as I've already been mentioned on here. So I'm local to the Charlotte market. If you ever come down to Charlotte, you'll find out that it's probably 2 in 10 now that are from here. So I can at least say I'm homegrown, and I love where I live. I've lived in other places around the U.S. and just found myself back home. So home's where the heart's at, right? But yeah, so as far as, a little bit of my background, I had worked actually in the police department for about 5 years and made a switch over to actually working for Lowe's. Didn't really know that I'd stay with Lowe's quite as long as I did, but 8 out of 13 years I was with Lowe's, I was actually doing in-home sales, selling exterior remodel projects. So I got to cut my teeth on literally probably thousands of clients, being able to walk in. Sometimes you made a sale, sometimes you didn't. But it was always fun just getting to know, the client in a short amount of time. you got to learn to connect and adapt very quickly in that situation. So opportunity came to leave there, and then another opportunity came to get out of the place that I left. And that's how I found myself into the real estate community. By and large, it's been a phenomenal pivot for me. Just super excited to continue to network and create relationships. And I think when we talk a little bit more, you're going to hear that word over and over and over. It is truly about relationships, and not about selling. If it's ever about selling, then you're really hurting yourself, really, at the end of the day on that.
Yeah, that's really good insight. Yeah, about hurting yourself. So, Larry, I'll start with a question here. I know I'm going to be stereotyping with this, but a lot of times creatives are introverts. We're not super comfortable getting out there and meeting with people face to face. We love our art. We love what we're taking photos of or shooting video for, and that's the work that we really want to do. But for somebody starting their own real estate photography business or videography business, that they have to get out there. They don't have a sales team or a business development team. What's really an easy, good first step for somebody wired like that to get out and meet a realtor?
Yeah. So, well, first off, you said it. You have to do it, right? I mean, you're not just ever going to pick up a camera and not have clients. Let's say you just were doing photos of a mountain. You don't want to sell that. That's going to go to somebody else. You're going to have to sell it to somebody more than likely. But it changed the mindset of like maybe into like I have to or I want to. I think that'd be the first place to start, and then start finding the tribe that you want to be around. So find your Facebook groups, find your Eventbrite events that are taking place. Whatever you got to do to put yourself in a uncomfortable position in order to meet people, you got to start doing it, regardless of whether or not you like it or not. Because at the end of the day, everything we do is about people. Like every single thing we do is about people. And if you're trying to limit that, it's probably not going to work well. So I'd just say find a group. Find a group, a running group, whatever. Those are people. Eventually, you're going to find your sphere growing once you start finding the people that you want to be around.
Yeah, that's great, Larry. And you are truly a master at that. We'll get to some of the things that you've been working on. But say the end of our listeners have found some groups and they're getting out there. And one thing that is just inevitable with sales, and one thing that affected me in a way that was difficult for me was objections or being told no. Mm-hmm. What kind of tips and tricks have you picked up over the years, or how have you grown to adapt an objection or maybe a hurdle to find a way to get a yes or to help the client?
Right. So an objection, if you look at it personally, sales is not the right industry for you. Like, just leave it, because you're going to hear a no, and you're probably going to hear a lot of no's sometimes before you even get that yes. So as far as an objection goes, it's probably just because they don't understand what is being offered. So, find out where that gap is. What am I not explaining well enough? So like for us with Wow, if somebody is going to say that it's a price objection, do they know all the benefits of what we are offering them? Do they understand that we have these other features? It's not just this one particular photo shoot or this one particular video tour. Do you have a landing page? Do you have a QR code? Do you get it back the next business day? Do you know that we have a staff that is here backing you up as a real estate agent? Once you start building in the value of what we offer or what you're selling, that's really when the light bulbs will start, turning on for everybody. So if price is an objection, make sure that you've laid out all your features. And if you don't, or whoever is watching this don't have the amount of features that you want, then create more. How would you do that? I'd say you start by being their friend first. Once you make somebody your friend, it is a heck of a lot harder for them to turn you down. Really, at the end of the day. So that would be probably one of the things. In real estate, you'll also hear, this is just going to sell so fast. But is it? Have we seen the shift that has taken place in the market? What are your average days on market right now? What was 3 days is probably now 8 days, and what was 8 days could be even longer now. And then, some people just don't feel that they need it. Really, you don't? Okay. So let's talk about lenders for a minute that also went after just the refis. That's all they were doing. Once those refis ran out, they got left without really a lot of business, and they had to kind of start all over again. So with a real estate agent, if it's selling so fast and you're not worrying about your marketing, then what are you going to show off when the times get a little bit slower? How are you going to prove that you are that agent that really is making a difference for their clients? So there again, it's big picture. At the end of the day, we got to talk big picture. Are you worried about just that one single transaction and you're done? Okay, then that's fine. Just be ready to pay the consequences for that.
Yeah. Handling objections is probably one of the biggest things that I think catches us as business development specialists or salespeople, whatever term you want to use, it catches us in the headlights like like a deer the most. So that's really helpful information. And you kind of touched on something that was going to be my next question. In my some of my background, I heard from multiple sources, people buy from people they like.
Mm-hmm.
So how did we're out there in the marketplace to build a business and to create profit, things like that. That's what's driving us. But you don't want to fall into the trap of manipulating people just to get that sale and
Right.
being a friend to somebody or being likable just to get that sale. How do you build that relationship, Larry? How do you really get someone to like you and have an honest, open, real relationship with somebody in the business marketplace?
Well, you've answered that question just by the ways you were qualifying that. I mean, you've got to be real, you got to be genuine, you got to just put it out there that, hey, I understand that, maybe times are a little tight right now. It's a little hard, but these are the benefits. And I'm not trying to sell you, down the road. I really, truly want to help you with your marketing or whatever platform you're trying to sell to that individual. But, at the end of the day, plug in and find out more about them as a person.
There you go.
You know what I mean? If you want to make friends with them on Facebook and just kind of watch what they're going on, it makes a big difference the next time you talk to them. You might see that they're struggling with something in life and might have lost a family member or something to that degree. And you might even not call at a time when you know that something is hypersensitive, or you might call at a time that something is hypersensitive, just depending on the relationship. But if it doesn't start with caring for them as an individual, that's so much of a battle in sales is people buy from those who they know, like, and trust. And if you can build that rapport, you don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer being sold. You just need to be a good knife that they can, that they can use. So we're not always going to be everything to everybody. So change that mindset and just, get down in the ditches with them and help them out as a human being first, and watch what your sales will take off from there.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Larry, I think that's so valuable. And sometimes in sales, we want to look for the next tactic or read the next how-to book or listen to the next podcast out there. But truly, it is about relationships. And you have harvested many for a while over the years. And I just wondered if you could give some insight. I can think of a couple, so I'm sure you have dozens off the top of your head, where you've planted a small seed, if you will, and you took a client from not so sure about WOW to trying it, and now like a raving fan of WOW. Any tips or tricks in there? Do you want to give us? I think maybe an example might help our listeners.
Yeah. So I the first one that comes to mind is my buddy Eric Maynard. Him and I met really when I first got into real estate. He turned into the rookie of the year for Keller Williams. I believe we got him on his first or second shoot. And it just blossomed because he does access me quite a bit. Sometimes it's on our work line, sometimes it's on personal line. And it's just a matter of being a friend first. But when he started taking his marketing seriously is when he got asked to take over a very, very large team up here in the Lake Norman area, one of the top producing teams out here. And there's been bumps in the road. There's always going to be anytime that there's humans involved, right? But at the end of the day, I think what will keep any relationship alive there again is going right back to the relationship. There's always somebody out there that offers something similar to what we offer. But at the end of the day, if they trust you with what you're doing and know that you have the best at heart, that's when things will start to explode for everybody. So yeah, I mean, that'd be one of the first examples straight out the gate. And we've done a lot of work with Eric. So thank you, Eric, if you ever see this.
Yeah, he is a great client. And I know you guys have developed a friendship over the years. So it's great to see that. And for me, that is so just fulfilling. Those are not only relationships that I created, and I can remember those names when I did it, but it's so fulfilling now as a business owner and to have a team member like Larry to be able to create those relationships as well. So it truly is, it takes some work, and it's no different than building a friendship with, your group of friends, but the payoff is just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Larry, as we're wrapping things up, let me ask you just one last thing, and this is going to be pretty open-ended, but what would be one piece of advice that you would give to a photographer that is just starting their own business and related to finding clients, that is something that you don't hear shared very often,
right,
in education on building a business?
Right. Never let it be just about one thing, really at the end of the day. So it gets a little dark right here, and I apologize for that, but it's just the fact of life. When I came into real estate, I became friends with this kid that really was kind of instrumental in helping me out, getting everything started. And he went down a dark path and committed suicide. And for the better part of 2.5 years, I didn't really know what to do with it. But through the network of people that I've been able to be around, we've kind of adapted mental health as our cause. So
yeah.
When you start to bring things in that people can attach to, and I'm definitely not saying like do something like that in order to make sales. What I'm saying is that's a human connection. And that might not be for everybody, but we all have mental health. We all know somebody that's probably dealing with some issues with it. It's just another value add. Really, at the end of the day, it's a value add that maybe I am not the one that can solve a problem, but I certainly will do what I can to help out. And then business flows from these things. It just does. When you start to bring the value to people, there again, know, like, and trust, and that's where it is. So, find out what makes you tick. Find out your causes. Find out how you can help others. Start with others, and then watch what happens. That's my advice.
Love it. Love it. Larry Lauder is the Wow Video Tours North Carolina market business development specialist. And Larry, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today and sharing your knowledge with our listeners.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, the subject of networking and sales it's a pretty big one. We condensed a lot of stuff into this short time. So we're going to do a part 2 to this because we know it's an important topic, and we're going to have another guest on, another one of our team members at Wow Video Tours, Chris Vogue, is going to be joining us next time. And we're just going to get their approach to building relationships and business with realtors.
Yeah, I'm excited about this series. This is something that truly, if you're looking to grow your business, you need to focus on. For those listeners out there that if quite honestly, if you're looking of how to get started, Larry is a great example on social of what to do. Larry, we didn't ask this, but how can our listeners out there, if they want to be inspired by some of your networking and marketing online, how can they find you and just kind of friend you or see what's going on, and maybe they can take some inspiration by your footsteps?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, if you're a real estate agent, I'd love to talk to you here in the Charlotte market. Just call me directly, 704-351-2818. You can shoot me an email, whatever, Larry@wowvideotours.com. Find me on Facebook. We'll be buddies. I promise you. If I'm having some sort of event, which I always try to have something going at least once a month, join it. I do understand that it can be scary walking into a crowd and not knowing a single person there, but you got to do it once. And then once you do it that one time, you'll probably find somebody else who'll do it with you. So come along, just give me a call and I'll be happy to help you out here in the Charlotte market.
Oh, Awesome. Thanks for that, Larry. And I have so many topics in mind that we could talk about again, your events, your networking. So we'll definitely have to get another podcast on the books so that our listeners can gain a little insight as to just the splash that you make with your networking and marketing. So thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, we want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the Spiro podcast today, and hopefully glean some good information that's going to help you build your business. If you have questions that you'd like to see answered on the podcast, you can always reach us at hello@spiro.media, or you can reach myself, and it's just Craig@spiro.media. Be sure to visit our website at spiro.media. We make this easy, right? And again, yeah, you can reach out to Larry if you have questions about sales and about getting sales rolling with your real estate photography business. We're a team here. We want to add value to this community and in this industry, and we want to thank you for joining us. All right, that's all we have this week, guys. Larry, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
until next week, enjoy your blessings and take a breath.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.